So in this video we're going to be making the doghouse, just a basic doghouse. So I'm going to click on Autodesk. This is for Kenton Middle School students. You were sent a Google Doc that shows you everything that you're going to need for this project. So make sure you check on your Google Docs to make sure you fulfill all the requirements. What I'm going to show you how to do is make the house and constrain a roof on the top of it. Okay, so we're just going to do a part file. So click on part. This is the most basic way to make this house, and if you decide to do it more complex, that's fantastic. But for those that are struggling, it's just a basic way to make a house for your dog. Alright, so we're going to do a new sketch, start a sketch. You could either use the XZ plane or the XY, it does not matter to me. I'm going to use the XY plane, and then I'm going to put a rectangle, and in this rectangle I'm going to use the 2-point center. So it starts in the center and moves out. So here we are, start in the center, move out. Now this is for a medium-sized dog. So a medium-sized dog is probably going to be about 18 inches tall, maybe 12 inches wide. And so we want something that's big enough for him. Most of the dog houses that I've seen are going to be right around 48 inches. So we're going to go 48 inches and then push the tab button. And if I zoom back out, there's the other one. So we want that to be, we can make that 48 as well. So the 48 that we already have is the front, and we can make it, I'm going to make mine 60 inches deep. So finish the sketch. Actually it's 60 inches tall. So, and then we're going to extrude that out. And I want to extrude it out 60 inches. Now, I think that's too tall, so we are going to go, if I just do a regular click on the front of that, I get options that come up. You probably only have 3 options. I want to go to this second one, and it shows me my dimensions, and I want to change that 60. I want to change it to, let's do 40. Okay, so I've finished the sketch. Now that's what my doghouse looks like. Okay, this is the front, sides, top. So what I want to do is shell out the top. Shell out the top. So here I'm going to click the shell button and then just click on the top. Now this 0.1 is telling me how thick my walls are. So I want a 1/2 inch thick walls, and I can even go 1 if I wanted. Just gives me thicker walls. Okay, so there's that. I want to put a door on the front, so I'm just going to right click on the front and do a new sketch, and there it is. So now I want to do a rectangle. This time I want to do just a 2-point rectangle, so I can start at the bottom here, and you can make this whatever you want. So I'm going to dimension this. Again, my dog's probably 18 inches tall, so I definitely want to go more than 18. Let's go 24. And then wide doesn't need to be as wide, so I could go maybe 18 inches, just like that. Okay, now I just pushed escape to get out of the dimensions, and I can now move this to wherever I want. So I can dimension from here to here, make that 14, and from here to here should be really close. That's 16, so they both should be 15. So I'm going to exit out, click dimension again, and change that to 15. That'd be put everything in the center. Finish the sketch, and then I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to do this cut button right here. And I don't want to cut through both sides, he just needs one door, so I'm just going to go distance, and then change it to, remember my walls are 1 inch thick, so you just got to make sure it's 1 inch. And there is your dog house. Alright, so we're going to save this. I'm going to call mine basic doghouse and save. Now I want to put a roof on the top of this, so now I need to do a new I can go back to my home and start another part file. And on this part file, again, do a new sketch. I'm going to do the XY plane again. So I'm just going to make a basic triangle. So I could do underneath rectangle, go under polygon, and instead of 6 sides we want 3 sides. When that's selected, then I'm just going to do this. There it is. And now I want to dimension the bottom. So I think the width of my dog box was 48 inches, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to finish that sketch and hit the home button. There's my 48-inch triangle. Now I'm going to extrude it out, and I think that it was 60 inches long. So there's my doghouse. So I'm going to save this. Save this as basic doghouse roof. Basic doghouse roof, and save. Now I could also shell out the bottom of this, so I can click and just move that to the bottom, and I can shell out the bottom, say OK. Now I've got this roof that has no interior. Okay, alright, so I'm saving that. I'm going to go back to my home. Now I need to put the doghouse and the doghouse roof together, so I'm going to click Assembly and start a new assembly. And up here where it says Place, we're going to click Place, and then I want to put my basic. I need to make sure you're in Documents. That's where everything's going to be saved for you. So basic doghouse. There's my basic doghouse, and then click Place again and go to your basic doghouse roof, if that's what you called it. And there's my roof. So I'm going to say OK. Alright, so now we're going to constrain the roof to the doghouse. So I'm going to click Constrain, and I want to put it right on top. You see that? So there's a ledge. Remember, that's a 1-inch ledge there. So I'm going to click right on that ledge. And then I want to click on the very bottom ledge of the roof, so I can gotta really zoom in. See that? See, this is the bottom. I'm going to really zoom in on that bottom ledge and click right on that. And see what happened if I click OK. This now is on top of that, and that's what I want. Next one's really easy. I click Constrain again, but this time I have to flush the front of it. Front to the front, just like that. Okay, now if I click OK now, this thing's going to move back and forth like this. Alright, would you click on this, see if it turns blue, and then right click and ground it so it doesn't move. So now the only thing that moves is this. And the last constraint is going to be a mate. Normally it's a flush, but because we have an angle here, we have to use another mate. So I'm going to zoom in. See, when you turn this, just that line shows up. That's what we want. Just hit the line and hit the side. And click OK. And now we have our doghouse. Okay. And now you can change, if we go up here to Tools and Appearance, and I can type in wood. It gives me all kinds of different wood options. So if I click that, it highlights my entire doghouse. It shows me what the wood finish if I just hover over them. So you can go through that and decide what you want. There's several options. Okay, so I'm just going to click that and we'll hit this arrow, and now that whole thing. And then I can change my roof a different color as well. I click Appearance, this is selected, and maybe I'm going to type in metal. And so it'll give me all kinds of different metal for my roof. You guys can choose anything you'd like and say OK, and now I have my doghouse on there. Alright, now if I want to do my dog's name on here, I'm just going to click on my doghouse. It turns blue. I'm going to right click and I'm going to open it up, and then I'm going to do a right click on the front of this and do a new sketch. And here's where I want to put a text, so I'm going to put my dog's name on here. Say my dog's name is Tucker. And then I'm going to highlight it. Right now it's 0.12 inches, and I need it to be at least 4 inches. At least. And then bold. And say OK. And there it is. Now if I push escape, I can go back here. I can double click on Tucker again and center that both directions, and there it is. Say OK, and then I extrude that. You can either cut it out, which I think would be kind of cool. Say OK, and now Tucker's name is cut out of the wood. So if I go back to my assembly, Tucker's name is cut out of the wood. That's kind of neat. Alright, so let's save that as Doghouse. I'm going to call mine Basic Doghouse. You can call yours what you need to. And that is your basic Doghouse. Okay, hopefully that helps you